Morning, everybody.
Well, it's
Welcome
not
to.
live yet. Or
Yeah,
maybe
it
it
is.
is. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. It's Todd and I. Excuse me, got choked right before I started to speak. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Mr. Bumcrack's been in here since about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, James. Good morning, Lag. Bumcrack, how you feeling this morning or this afternoon for you? Good morning, Lady Kinsey. So why are you put away wet, Todd?
I don't know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I just no particular reason. I'm just an old, worn out old fart. Yep. Wonder if old farts smell worse than new farts. I guess they would.
Have mercy.
Have mercy.
So you've already packed all your stuff that you're shipping today, or just
No, I have had an incredible 3 days of sales. I've got 20 going out.
dang?
It's been lights out, man. It's good stuff.
Well, good. That's
I
good because people. I keep hearing people on their channel saying, "Well, slow sales have been slow, and I'm just not selling anything."
well, again, that just comes down to what you have to sell.
But anyway, I know you've been selling a lot. It's
Yeah, I went and did my auction pickup
Yeah, I
yesterday,
was about to ask you about that. How
and
did that go?
it was good. I bought two Stetson hats, and I listed them yesterday, and one of them sold in 20 minutes for $200.
Say that again.
Stetson hat
For
sold.
in
Two,
20 minutes, it sold for $200.
yes,
Did you price it low?
I guess.
Good morning, Steven.
Plus shipping on top.
Because that's got to be kind of somewhat difficult to ship. Good morning, Carol.
Um, yeah, I mean, it came with its original box and everything. Yeah, don't overlook cowboy hats when you're out picking.
My younger brother likes cowboy hats. His grandson does too, and he's 3.
There it is. I mean, it's pretty much just like new.
And it's really nothing fancy. I mean, it's a
Well,
nice looking hat.
it's a Stetson 4X Beaver. Yeah, I don't know why Stetson and cowboy hat makers to keep calling them Beaver because they haven't made beaver hats in 100 years.
Oh, I remember when Stetson cologne was the thing to wear. you
So I got two hats. The other Stetson I listed for 150, but it hasn't sold yet. I've had two offers on it. Kind of low ball offers, but Not insulting offers, but kind of lowball.
So what else did you get at the auction?
Oh, I got like 4 totes of military surplus, clothes and packs and pouches and belts and, just stuff. I got some stereo equipment. I got like 4 double tape decks techniques.
Right.
I don't have luck with those. Most of the times there's a belt broken on those and they're just not worth taking apart to put a new belt on.
Good morning, Maggie. Do you so did Gwen have your contractor ready yesterday when you got back?
A contract?
Yeah, for starting that new building in the backyard.
Oh, no, but she's got ugh. So our garbage disposal quit, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. And it's sitting here, the new one's sitting here by my desk. I think she's gonna cut me off at the knees if I don't go ahead and put this on. I've just been avoiding it because it's painful to get down on my hands and knees and reaching up under a sink. And
Well, get somebody to put it in for you.
I'm too cheap for that.
Well, you know, A, you got the getting down on your knees and hands and trying to get up under that daggum sink, and B, those damn things are a bitch to put together. You know, get all those hoses and clamps and make sure everything's flowing in the right direction.
Oh,
It'll take you all day to, and somebody will probably come in there and be in and out in about an hour.
no, it wouldn't even take them that long. It's not rocket science. Cha-ching! Number 21 just sold. Sega Dreamcast controller.
Good morning, Bass.
It's like no matter how bad the economy gets, people still want their video game stuff.
Well, you can't afford to do anything. Um,
So I
can't
got
afford to do much anything else. Did you see what
got
James said?
pay someone, you cheap ass. I'm too cheap. Did Bumcrack ever say how he's doing? Is he still
He
in
said he was doing.
hospital?
He said he was doing good today.
Yeah,
Bumcrack, you
good.
still in the hospital?
He's had a tough go the last year or two with his health.
Yeah.
And a blood clot, and then he's on that social medicine program they got over there, and
I'm not laughing about Bumcrack. I'm laughing about James. Yeah, he has had a tough time of it. But he's on. They got that medicine plan over there. He should be taken care of really well.
yep,
You know, because everybody over here wants to go to socialized medicine or government funded medicine.
yep. So also at the auction, I got a World War II bayonet with this scabbard, and the scabbard says U.S. and I took the bayonet out, starting to do a little research on it. Turns out it's a World War II German bayonet. But it's weird because it fit perfectly into this bayonet scabbard made in the U.S.
Oh,
So
cool.
I wonder if two different countries kind of copied designs a little bit.
Probably.
But yeah, that bayonet I have is to fit a Mauser, a German Mauser gun. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I hope you do well. You get better, bum crack. I, all I had to do was spend the weekend in there, and they sent me home. Yeah, James, Todd's saving money to get pointers from the Pope to deal with the Lutherans. I don't know how many of y'all go back that far, but there used to be an elderly lady in there that would give him hell every time he he went over there. She would beat him to death with prices. Good morning, Jim Tara.
Oh, you let me in finally.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't see you in it because you don't have a picture, so it just shows up the normal thing.
I know, because I don't know how to put an avatar on this one. And it's in the morning and I'm not going on screen.
Um, I'll figure that out for you. Tell you how to do it.
All right.
You and Jim need to take a happy picture together.
Yeah,
Use
we
that
don't
as-
have any happy pictures together. Usually we both have a grimace on our face when they take our picture
Well,
together.
pretend that you're
I'm
still
usually
in
holding
love.
a pitchfork. We got a real happy look on her face. I'm holding a pitchfork and she's staring the same way. Kind of slacking on country folk.
Just go outside and get Brendan and take a nice picture of y'all together, standing together, acting like y'all are young and in love again.
We'll stand in front of her Depression era house and
Yeah.
the old sod.
Or go stand in the hallway with Uncle Sam standing behind you, looking over your shoulders. The painting.
Oh, that guy's really owly looking.
Yeah, he's real crabby.
He looks
looking.
like he's there on the first of the month to collect the rent. I used to when it was a family I knew from I knew their kids. I went to school with their kids all through grade school and high school. But his father, this other kid's father, and my dad both went into real estate at the same time in the late '70s, and he had owned rental properties, and he would tell the people when they signed the lease, "Don't worry about the address to mail the rent because I'll be here on the 1st to collect it in person." He would go to every one of his rentals, rap on the door, and be there to collect the rent in person on the 1st of the month.
Well, he saved him the postage stamp.
Yeah, he was helping him out by saving him a stamp.
Saving him money.
You know, there was I might have told you about it before, but down in Rock Hill, there was a guy that had he bought a bunch, when the mills started, the textile mills started shutting down in Rock Hill. He bought up a bunch of mill houses and rented them out. And if you hadn't paid by the 15th, you'd come home and find all your crap out by the road, which is highly illegal. But he said it was always cheaper to pay the fines than it was to deal with the process of eviction and everything. And you just laid on my keyboard.
Yeah, I don't think up in Wisconsin you can't do that.
No,
you
they
can't
make you let him back in.
You can't just take their stuff out and set it out. But each state, obviously has their own rules.
Well, that was back in the, like in the 70s when everything was going.
Oh, yeah, when it was the Wild West yet.
Yeah, it was. It was terrible back there. Yeah, the house beside us, James, was vacant for about a year and a half because they just didn't want to deal with. It was during the pandemic, and people were moving into apartments and houses, and then they would, they qualified for it. They'd make a couple of rent payments, and then they would stop paying because they didn't have to pay anymore.
I got a friend down here, and he's a real estate agent, and he does rentals, and they had that in the state of Kentucky where You know, because you couldn't evict anybody during that COVID time.
Right.
But they had it where they had the COVID relief money that the state got. They were giving those landlords at least you could apply to get back that back rent money.
Well, we had that in North Carolina too, but they had this clause on it, and it was like you couldn't sue for any unpaid money and all of this other kind of
Yeah,
crap
you
like that.
couldn't. Yes, it was what you got from the state, and you had to be happy with that. You weren't going to go
Yeah.
after the tenant too.
So
Yeah.
they had all this money, but nobody was signing up for the program from the landlord, the property owner's side.
No.
How come?
So
How come if the tenants didn't have to pay rent, how come we also had to still pay our property taxes?
beats me.
I mean, why doesn't it? I never understood that. Like, God bless Walmart for being able to collect money all through the pandemic, and then they shut down all these mom and pop stores. What the hell? For whatever reason, Walmart for some reason is the only business that was a national whatever security thing. If we couldn't shut down Walmart, but every other poor sap had to get shut down. I mean, about the mortgage payments, they didn't suspend the mortgage payments of landlords. You know, I mean, it's just it was just so the way that was handled. The whole thing was just a perfect example of how asinine our government is run.
Oh boy.
Sometimes I think we'd be better off just running it ourselves.
Yeah. Good
What's the
morning, Block.
bayonet you got there, Todd?
Hmm?
What's your bayonet?
Oh, at the auction, I did auction pickup yesterday,
Yeah.
and this bayonet's kind of weird because there was a U.S. military scabbard.
Yeah.
That's this, and then the bayonet is a German Mauser bayonet,
Just stuck it together.
and it fits perfectly. It's like clicks
And
in
that
and everything.
bayonet's marked Mauser? Or it's marked German?
It's got, let's see, the markings are 42 CVL, which I don't know what the CVL means, but it's a German Mauser designation.
Hmm.
But it fits
Well,
perfectly.
Mausers
in
could
that.
have any old number stamped on them. The bayonets,
Huh?
and they could be made by the bayonets.
Here, hold it up. I'll let Jim
The
look
bayonets
at it.
aren't usually made by Mauser. They're made by Solingen or whatever, or some German knife makers. Usually.
Hold it up. And I'm watching on the YouTube, so it's
I
good.
need to see the. I don't need to see the blade really. I just need to see the butt.
Yeah, it got.
Oh yeah, it's definitely German bayonet. I'm not sure that's. Yeah, it's. I would say either Czechoslovak. Well, which way is the knife? If you put it in the. Let me see the knife blade again. Does it cut up or down? It cuts down. Okay, so that's probably
down.
yeah. That's not Czechoslovakian. Because if they're Czech, they cut up.
Yeah, look, there was good comps for it. There was like a couple listed and a couple sold, and
Yeah,
and
the
then
bayonet, the scabbard that goes in.
yeah, the scabbards I saw for
That-
were
That looks like
leather.
like a Springfield or a Grand bayonet or a scabbard or
Yeah.
Garand or whatever, however you pronounce it.
There's the link, Scott. And anybody else.
Yeah, but I'm surprised how well it fits in that scabbard. I mean, it just I mean, it doesn't just go in and it's the right
What year do you
length,
think it's from?
It's probably World War II,
and it clicks
and
in.
it's the early worm gets the bird.
You got to remember, Jim lived back during that period, so he's.
No, I'm a fascist, so I have all that stuff down in my basement.
Oh my God. Have you ever heard that story? This is horrible. Jim collects World War I, World War II stuff. Guns, bayonets. He has helmets and stuff. Anyway, he used to have this shelves in his old basement, his old house, and we had these Russians that were come over from Russia to work at the condominiums. They were on like one of these work programs where they could be here for a year. And they were using a rental and they needed a kitchen table. So Jim's like, I got an extra table and chairs in my basement. Take them over there and they can go get that chair. They can go get that set out of my basement. So I walk him down the basement, and he used to have this big long gun racks down his basement wall. And then he had shelves with like German helmets and stuff like that all set up down there. Those Russians got down to the bottom of the steps and they're like looking around like in amazement. And they're like, Tara, is Jim a fascist? Yeah, because they can't own guns over there, you know.
Is Jim from Ukraine?
Is Jim a fascist? You're a Ukrainian Nazi. I knew it.
It's fake news.
So I got with the bayonet in the lot was a helmet.
I
wanna
actually
check
have
it
that
out.
bayonet, but I don't know exactly where it's from. Because I get them, you know, I used to, when they were cheap, I used to buy them
What's
like,
the helmet?
10 at a time.
Well, Jim could ID it if he was looking
I'm
at
pretty
it.
sure it's U.S. Army.
That's a regular GI helmet. Those actually do good though. I mean, those used to be junk, but actually now they're doing better.
The lettering.
I don't know
on
what
the
they're doing
front-
exactly right now, but they're doing better. They used to be like $10-15, but now I've seen them 50, 60.
The
It's not like
lettering
a
on the
German
front
but they
says
do pretty
"Look
good."
out." I don't know whether you're supposed to look out because I'm about to kill you, or
Oh,
look,
that's a cool thing though on there.
Does it say look
It
out?
says "Look out" painted in red paint. It's kind of faded, but
look out. Like, if you wore this helmet, you were on duty to watch duty or something.
Yeah, probably.
I just sold like in the
I like
last
early
couple
cats.
weeks or 3 weeks. I just sold a pair of Vietnam era jungle boots. They were like I think they're 62 or something like that. They were dating.
No, they were like 60.
7, sorry.
Well, that's something else I got. I got like 16 pairs of army boots.
Oh
Good
yeah.
morning, Scott.
Morning. I just wanted to come over here and tell Jim, you know why you could go to Walmart. Because when the Chinese scientists were developing this virus, they didn't want to wipe out their kids and they didn't want to wipe out their businesses, so they only had trained it to attack people who were not at a Walmart.
True.
They don't what? They don't-
Everybody knows that.
He said they only attack people because they want to ruin their own business. Everything's imported from China. That's
Yeah.
why they go to Walmart.
Oh yeah, that would give them no distribution point. Good point.
Honestly, where else is there to shop? You know, there's nobody left except Walmart.
No, but in
Target.
the spirit of fairness, why should, because you're a smaller independent person, why should you have to be shut down while but this big box retailer can be open? Why is it safer to shop at the box retailer than it is a small store?
And why does the government have the inalienable right to choose which businesses can stay open? I mean, I just don't even understand that.
Okay, listen. They don't. They made that shit up as they went, and they illegally enforced it on the American people.
Damn
They don't.
straight. And
They
we
don't.
just took it. I mean,
It amazes me
I think
you
it
got
was a
people to
test.
take it that long.
I think
Yeah.
they were tested. It's an animal probing an electric fence. They're looking for the weak spot.
So, Jim, do you listen to a guy named Kramer? He's out of Indiana. This dude is crazy. So he's on his TikTok channel. He's on like channel number. They've killed his channel like 80 times. He just keeps making more. And
Yeah, we don't have TikTok. You know
last
the
night-
Chinese Chinese gather your information over there.
last night he said.
No
Last night he
TikTok.
says, "Does anybody notice since they started pointing out the collusion between the government and these social medias that all of a sudden you can talk about stuff and you don't get banned nearly as fast?" He says.
Yeah.
He says, "I've had this account a week. That's some kind of record." He said,
So I got this message yesterday evening.
What does it say?
It says, about the jacket. Do you mind if I ask you how tall and how much you weigh?
Why did
What?
you model it or did you have it on a mannequin?
No.
"You should have given him a midget. Like you're 4'8", weigh like 280."
We get those where they ask us, "Can you send us a picture of you wearing it?"
I
And
don't
sometimes
do
it's
that.
like a size small. It's like, yeah, good luck
Do you
with
mind
that.
if I ask how
Can't even
tall
get in
and
it
how
though,
much you
wear it.
weigh?
Yeah.
That's-
Well, they
Well,
probably think it's your personal jacket. I'd say I bought this in a state
Yeah.
auction. Here's the measurements.
That's
Well,
what
They
I
don't want
figured.
the history.
when I
You know,
listen
I
to
tell them I
people
bought it off
they
a
want me
pallet
to
and in
speak.
a state auction, the previous owner's dead.
Actually, the jacket's my size, so I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell him. But that's just at 10:30 at night, right at the end of the Cowboys game.
Yeah, I listed some
Hey,
women's
how
underwear. They
tall?
want a picture
How
of me
tall are
in it.
you, and how much do you weigh? I'm thinking this guy can see me through my phone or something.
Do you have any worn shoes I could buy? Do not wash them.
Oh, that is so gross.
Have y'all not got that before?
I know Sally got one, and she like did something where she was like putting like ramen noodle soup in it and letting it like ferment for like a couple days, so they were extra stinky or something. That was like years ago. But anyway, do you remember that, Todd? It was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
That should be on one of those HBO fetish shows.
Yeah, she was like putting like chicken noodle soup in it and stuff.
Taxi
Like,
cab confessions.
and they were like a pair of women's like, I don't know, like those slides that women
Big
wear. Like
slide already.
anyway.
So
Yeah,
I also
that's
got
a-
like
when you're
5
teaching
totes
people.
of military surplus clothes and stuff.
Oh,
And I
cool.
didn't have room in here for them, so I left them on the carport till I sort them. And all the cats that Gwen feeds in the neighborhood go, "Oh, great, new beds." So they're all
Ew.
on it, and
So they went and peed on you.
I don't think
That's,
they peed
that's
on
a
them.
hard
You
one.
didn't have a
When you're-
lid on them, Todd, and you left them outside.
Yeah, they're underneath the carport, so they don't
But
get
you
rained
didn't have a
on.
lid on them.
Nope. Where'd he go?
Did you
Speaker
know you can
offline.
marinate?
I would have
these
at
in
least had them
bologna?
covered.
Oh God, you're horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't eat it myself.
so what do you do? I'm trying.
Scott, you're muted.
Yeah, I think he muted himself.
He knew it would get cut. He knew it'd get
You're
banned.
just talking away.
They're pointing at your ears.
What about now?
Can't hear you. Or is
Yeah.
that me
Yeah,
on the screen?
got you now.
I'm like,
Just
what do you
Tom.
do with people when you're trying to teach them what to buy, and you see a banged up pair of shoes at the yard sale, knowing good and well there's some foot fetish person out there that you put up there for good money. They're gonna buy that stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. You know, eBay had to put a ban on so many things because they were going for the people were selling for the fetish market, not the
Yeah. Bum crack said sweatsy.
sweats.
Put it on sweatsy.
Yeah, I don't care what you do. Once you buy it, I don't care what you do with it.
Yeah.
Not my problem.
Um, they're talking about you up there, Scott.
But I
Said,
can't,
yeah,
be, I can't be the only one who has gotten the questions about shoes and stuff and how worn are they, and they're talking about, because I just need to know the description. Really worn is okay. I'm like, man, you sick bastard.
Yeah, they're usually on women's shoes
But
too.
he asked specifically, do they stink? I'm looking for smelly shoes, is what he told her.
Hmm.
I used to sell shoes. I want to tell you, stinky feet on chicks, at least for me, was not a turn on. That did nothing for me.
Yeah, because didn't you used to have all those ankles around your ears, so you didn't want to smell it, right?
At the shoe store. Yeah, let's see. He was married to his first wife and had a little baby at home. Yeah, that's what he was doing.
I will tell you something, when you sell shoes, I take off my pants at night, to unbuckle my
Oh,
pants.
I thought you were going to say
And
something
you'd have
else.
like 6 shoe horns. You'd have these metal shoe horns from a shoe store, like 6 shoe horns that fall out because you always slip them in your belt. I remember that. I'd have at home. I'd have to bring them back to work. I'd have like 30 metal shoe horns.
Oh,
I'd have
my.
to haul back.
Did you sell shoes?
Yeah, right out of
Yep,
college, he
just like Al
managed.
Bundy. Except I would have been Al Bundy's boss. I was a manager.
I've never heard you say before that you've sold shoes.
Yeah, I mean, he said that before.
I
It was
started
right out of
with shoes and I
college.
went right to real estate.
There was a chain store, and I don't know if they have them all over up in the upper Midwest. It's called Trade Home, and he managed the one in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin.
Yep. Well, I was assistant manager at Stevens Point, and then I got my first store was in Beaver Dam. I was manager.
Shoe salesman by day, navel sucker by night.
Mhm. No, that was after he got divorced. Come on, that was his second child.
No, that job was salary, and salary's like indentured servitude. I mean, I worked probably.
But you got a cut of what the
50,
store
60
brought in.
Yeah, I did get a cut. It improved my bonus, so I got more money. But I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I lived at that store.
We had.
I mean, literally, I had a cot in the back room.
We didn't have that shoe store, but we had like Tom McCann's, those kind of.
It would be that kind of store. It would be like a Tom McCann or like a Kenny's or Kenny's
Yeah.
or whatever. They've
I wish
sit
they
you
would
down.
bring back one of them.
So that you can go ahead and tell us. You're so rich because Al Bundy was the story of your life, and they pay you royalties every time it goes. You can tell us.
Honestly, he made pretty good money though at that managing that
It took
shoe
me.
store.
I was selling real estate 4 years before I matched my shoe store manager pay.
Hmm.
It doesn't look very exciting, but actually, yeah, he was doing pretty good at it. I don't think his first
Not
wife
your
was
salary.
happy when he decided to switch to real estate.
You were on salary plus percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a draw. It was called your draw. You got a bi-monthly draw, and then at the sometime in spring, you got your cash dump where you got the big check for whatever you went over your. Because what they're doing is they're withdrawing your draws from your. They call it your bonus, but it's really your annual pay for your salary, and then they
Right.
draw they deduct your draws and whatever you paid your employees. It was your out of the money I took in, it was my responsibility to pay the employees. So it was always a war with the company. They want you to have more people on, and I want to have less people on because every person there is eating in my taking away from my money. And that's why I worked so much, because if I had to pay somebody to work for me not being there, if I took time off, I'd have to pay someone there literally out of my own pocket. I'm paying a person to replace me there, so I work there all the time.
No, his first wife would have been Peggy. I was still in high school when he was doing this.
Yeah, that's where I met Tara, on the playground.
Yeah, he sold me a pair of wrestling shoes. It was all the fad. Girls were wearing wrestling
you-
shoes, and
I started showing her some M&Ms, and she's like, "That's amazing."
yeah.
Then we did some stuff with a straw and some white stuff. And
Well, that's how they did it at the fast food stores, didn't they, Scott? You got a little check and then a big bonus at the end of the
No,
year
they-
because you
they-
made so
they
much
paid you-
money.
They paid you a straight salary, and then you had an overall percentage of your sales that you could use for your total labor. It was they killed you the other way. They said, hey, this is what you're going to make, and we still own you. So do whatever you got to do to make that percentage.
You I got a YouTube on my YouTube playlist. I got this video, and it's about this thing called the Flippy 2. Have you seen that?
The what?
The Flippy 2.
No.
It's a robotic French
Oh, yeah,
fry
the ro-
cooker.
And they're going to make the whole place. There was one, I think it's in Canada, where they've made an entire McDonald's with no employees.
Oh wow.
This one, I mean, it was really amazing watching this thing run because it did everything. Like when it would pick out hot fries out of the basket up, it would shake it just like a human would do, and then it would dump it into the dispensing tray.
So they were far off from that because even when I was there, I've been gone from McDonald's since the late '90s. We had a machine that you would just, if you fill it up, it would fill every basket the same amount.
Right.
And so, but you'd have to dump them, but you're not a stretch from making that last part automated.
Well, this thing was totally automated from the time that they dropped the fries in the basket to it would take it over and set it down into the oil, pick it up out of the oil, shake it, dump it into the dispenser, then go back over and get fries.
I mean, they were just ignorant because you had franchisees who were trying to make all the money they could out of it. They give you that machine, but then, I was running at the time. I was running the second busiest store in all the Atlanta market, and we were in Tuscaloosa. I could put 4 baskets down at a time. Every other store, the new ones they brought out had 8 fryers and all this shit. And here I am in this old ass store that's just crushing sales. And they'd come by and go, you've got the fryer overloaded. You can't. I'm like, you go out there and tell all them fucking people waiting that sorry, he's not going to overfill the baskets to make you wait longer. It's you fight so many battles that are just stupid.
But it was pretty cool. But my in-laws were before they retired. They were in the textile industry, and my father-in-law talking about the machines that used to be have to be hand threaded, and now jets of air threads these machines and stuff like that, and
I mean,
that had to be.
the big battles we used to, because coming out of the 80s and 90s, they wanted every employee to look the same. You had the perfect uniforms, person this, you couldn't have this, couldn't have that. Take out piercings, and now you go in there and it look like they got hit by a tackle box. And
Yeah.
they're no long. Most of them don't even have to do the pants anymore. You're wearing. They're all wearing jeans. I mean, they look like ragamuffins.
Well, I don't go to McDonald's that much, but I will say if you go inside, there's hardly, like in the old days, they'd have like the 6 registers and you have somebody at every register. They don't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like one person that's like doing something else from the back too, but they mostly want you to use those kiosk things,
Yeah.
And
Right.
just do it that way. There's hardly any counter people to help you.
Yeah,
Not
you
that
got
I-
to wait longer now because they got to get the hamburger out of the vault.
Yeah, that big
Sit
one
there
I
with
ran
the
had
cold
eight,
food
had
and
eight
eggs.
registers, 8 registers across the front.
Yeah.
It's been.
I don't. I mean, McDonald's used to be. We don't hardly ever eat there because by the time the 3 of us go eat at McDonald's, it's like $35. I'm like, well, let's just add another $10 and go have a sit down meal then.
Yeah, even including the tip.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd only be $10 more.
I mean, we could
including
go
the
to a
tip.
Mexican restaurant or something and spend a little bit more and sit down and have a really good meal. So
Especially if you eat Mexican at lunch, where they've got the deals at lunch.
yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, they're fast. I mean, I like Mexican food. But, I mean, I really like Mexican restaurants because man, they do it good. They do it well. I mean, the food's out there fast. They're very efficient.
Yeah.
The
just think about what they make. The bean. A lot of the stuff is already. Beans are in big pots. Rice are. You cook bulk, so they've got it down to where everything they make, for the most part.
Hmm.
There was down in Rock Hill. There used to be this restaurant that was like all Southern country cooking. They were only open from like 11 to 2, and when they were open, they were never open on Sundays. So that was all the fast food joints around them. Busy as days was the day that they were closed, because you could go in there for like $6 and get a plate of food and feel like you got your money's worth, and it was tasty.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. We just hardly ever eat at like fast food anymore.
every town has that, because even when we were in college, Tuscaloosa, a little town beside Tuscaloosa, at a little cafe, Meat and Three. It was called City Cafe. It's still there. When we were in school, you could get, which was the late '80s, early '90s. You can get a meat, 3 vegetables, and a tea for like $2.65.
Yeah.
The whole place will be full of college students every day. And they serve breakfast from 4 and they close at like 2 o'clock or something. And man, there were locals in there, but it was full of college students because we were all broke.
Well, you
Yeah.
used to could go to Walmart and get one of their their meat and 2 vegetables or 2 sides meals for a lot cheaper than you could get, a fast food meal. And it was, to me, it was better tasting, and it was, you could get some vegetables instead of French fries. But
Well, just look at the cost of food. Hell, a dozen eggs is damn near $5.
my
I
mom
think
paid
it's
$5.50 for a dozen eggs in Rock Hill,
I think
South
ours are
Carolina.
like 604 or something like that.
Yeah, we got 2 dozen at Costco a week ago. They were $7.19.
Why did you say there's a problem with the eggs? Because they use
They
like
use them for vaccines
oh
or vaccine testing. It's got something to do with the government controls a certain amount of eggs. They got like contracts with these egg companies. When the government don't need the eggs, then the company can sell the eggs. But
Uh-huh.
if the government needs the eggs, they got an agreement that they will sell the egg. The government gets the eggs first.
Oh.
They're also blaming it on avian flu. They've had to kill so many birds or some shit.
Mm.
Well, helping the mom and pop egg business. I was watching a YouTube channel, and this guy has like he and his wife got like 40 chickens, and they've got a waiting list of chickens, and they sell them for reasonable price. Their eggs, and he's he's like, go ahead and keep jacking up the price. Their price, they have they sell more eggs.
I got a Tyson farm here, maybe for my house, but that's only meat chickens.
It's a chicken concentration camp.
Mr. Sadie, bleach is $9 a gallon where you're at.
Wow.
Oh,
So
well,
fishing
that's
and
it. I'm
picking,
drinking bleach.
fishing and picking says a hot dog and soda at Sam's Club is under $2. That's because they're matching Costco. Costco, whenever I don't know if y'all have seen the story, but whenever before the guy who founded Costco would step down as CEO and put his replacement in, dude had to sign a contract that he would not raise the price of a hot dog because that's what he had it in his mind. That's one of the big draws, and so they lose money on every single one. Same thing with the rotisserie chicken. That's why it's $4.99 or whatever it is. It is something to get you in, and they're counting on. That's their low. Cost. They don't do ads, so that's their low cost leader.
Wow.
Yeah, because
To get you in there and stay there.
I can go into the grocery store to get a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk, and it's not snowing. um, and end up coming out of there with a basket full because then I remember, oh, we're out of such and such. We need to get such and such. Roberta said she would like to have, this item or that item.
We had to go buy batteries today, and Jim almost shit a chicken in the alleyway.
What kind of batteries?
Like C batteries.
batteries.
Yeah, C batteries.
Jim's getting old. She needs C and D's now. Come on.
Yeah.
You got this Yoda that you train him. He trains you to fight as a Jedi or whatever.
Right.
But you got to have alkaline batteries because if you try to use cheap batteries, it's not enough juice to make them talk, and we're gonna sell them. We gotta make sure he works, so we gotta put the expensive batteries in them. And he takes 6, and they only sell C's in a 4-pack, so you gotta buy 8 batteries when you only need 6. And what the hell else do you put C's in anymore?
Big mouth Billy Bass.
Okay, yeah, Billy. I guess we sell a lot of those, but god dang it, yeah. I mean, if you bought the fancy ones, the 4-pack was like.
The 10-pack was over $20.
Yeah.
Can you not find them like in bulk on Amazon?
Yeah, but we want to sell it.
Yeah, I would like to sell it. I'd like to list it today or tomorrow.
The death piles.
Yeah. So
we got these death mountains we got here. We're drowning in inventory.
Well, you might have to give up your personal C batteries.
Our house, I mean, I've seen meter storage units. So we need to move this stuff out.
We have just too much stuff.
It's moving from room to room. We finally got the bathroom is completely cleared of inventory, which is awesome. You don't have to climb over boxes to get in the damn shower.
He's being a smart ass.
You want to take a douche? You better list something on your way in and out.
Yeah, there you go. Use your phone and list something.
And stick that broom up your hind end so you can sweep the floor on the way out.
I just looked at Walmart. Bleach here is $5.50 a gallon.
Yeah, I haven't bought it for a while because we had a whole bunch of it, but I don't think it's that much here either.
Maybe Mr. Sadie bought the concentrated because there's a concentrated.
Maybe he's buying the Clorox outdoor bleach, but I think that stuff's like $17.
Oh man, but it works good.
Oh yeah, it does work good.
It works like way better. I mean, if you got 2 or 3 trips with regular bleach, this does it in one. It's got like a gelatin in it too, so it like sticks. It's like napalm bleach.
It's awesome.
Oh, and don't touch it. It'll really burn your skin. If you use it, use rubber gloves.
Yeah, I wish. So it's coming up on a year that Harlan's brother has passed away. Next week will be a year, and he used to tell a story about when he cleaned his house and he had some mold and stuff underneath the house, and so he sprayed it all with bleach and laid in it on his back to make sure he could get all the spots. And
Oh
he
no!
ended up in the emergency room with Clorox burns.
Oh
To hear
wow.
him tell that story, that was that was
Yeah,
one of
because
the
even when you're breathing, if you didn't have a mask, you can like burn the inside of your lungs and stuff.
yeah, because it ate through his clothes and everything else. It was that, when he would tell that story, man, we would just cackle
Mm.
of him that when his ass and everything just burned slam up.
Yeah, it can burn your skin off. I mean, you'll start peeling like a sunburn. You know, like for days afterwards, you'll have it peeling off. It's like the dead tissue peels off for quite a while afterwards. So wear gloves.
What the hell is this antimony pentafluoride lag? I looked it up and all I got was a damn chemistry report of it. I just want to know what it's used in.
Fluoride?
Yeah, pentafluoride.
Antimony pentafluoride. It's $15 a quart.
Oh shit! It tells you to mix it with this and that, and it gets more symbols. What the hell?
Yeah, no,
I
that's what I
need a
was.
chemistry degree. I'm
Was
not
this,
even looking it up.
was this like a bath salts recipe?
I don't know. I just put yeah.
Can I smoke it? That's all I want to know. Is it smokable?
Yeah, I don't like looking at something on Wikipedia and it never tells me what it is. It just,
Yeah, and then the FBI comes to your door like, "Why are you looking this up? What are you
yeah.
claiming?"
Why do you need 55-gallon drums of this?
It's, you know,
It's made it.
where my dad was, they lived out in the country. Well, I did. And he was pressure washing his house and he had a really high content of bleach in it. And it would run down, it'd run down the one on the um,
Sprayer.
yeah, sprayer. Thank you. All this stuff started popping up on my screen, and I didn't know what it was. But anyway, then it would run down his arms, and it soaked into his long sleeve shirt because he knew bleach, will burn you. And he ended up in the hospital. He ended up staying about 3 days because of the chemical burns on his arms and the bleach had soaked into his skin and into his system and all that kind of mess.
So here's your answer. It's a colorless, highly corrosive, toxic gas. It's primarily used as a reagent in organic chemistry. It's used in the production of semiconductors and manufacturing of other chemicals. So there you go. You have to get Chat GPT. You have to put it in there and to explain this at a fifth grade level, and it will tell you what it is.
There you go.
Like you're playing Jeopardy. What is?
Yeah. I said, what is this? And explain it at a fifth grade level, and that's what it kicks out.
So it's basically bath salts. And not the kind you take a bath with.
What do you do with bleach all day, Jack?
I think he's a pool guy.
He has a pressure washing business.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a guy that has a YouTube channel. I watch him every once in a while.
It's,
He's got all the fancy, like pressure washes, driveways, and things like that.
what does James do to bleach? He cleans all the evidence for where he attacked little children. That's what he does.
Oh, another good one is muriatic acid if you're cleaning aluminum, like the cans on a pontoon boat. It works good, but that's something else you don't want to get on yourself. Or cement. If you're cleaning the boat on a cement floor, it'll eat the cement.
It's anyway, the guy that has the pressure washing, concrete cleaning business, he's got some pretty nifty toys to do his business with.
Yeah, pressure washers are awesome.
Oh yeah, we love the pressure
Yeah, we
washer.
love it. But you gotta be. But I will say, Jim's dad was pressure washing his patio around his pool in Florida with flip
In
flops
flip
on,
flops,
and went across his foot and cut his foot open.
using the red tip, which was too heavy for the pool anyway. The other thing he did was he wrecked the finish that they use that special like coating concrete on the pool on the the final coat on the lining of the pool on the in-ground pool, and he wrecked that too. So they had to have get their whole pool redone.
Wow, James.
Yeah, back in the day, the old man who ran the McDonald's when I ran that big one, they bitched about the parking lot all being concrete. This was before pressure washing companies were really popular. And this old man bought this pressure washer. It was on a trailer. I forget how many gallon water tank it had on it, but it had this huge engine on it, and it would heat the water to like 160, 180, something. So when you were cleaning the parking lot and hit a piece of gum, it would melt the gum off. You could smell what flavor it was.
Nice.
This was the craziest pressure washer. You had to be careful what you pointed at because that kind of hot water coming out was. That's probably what James has got. James has probably got a commercial machine like that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a hot pressure washer rig. But the guy that I watch, he says now when you start your business, you want to do this, that, and the other. And then at some time or another in one of his other videos, he said, I keep getting questions asked, why would you tell people how to start a competitive business? And he says, because they might spend all the money to start it, but they will quit because it's too much work. He says, my videos make it look real easy, but he
correct.
said it's a lot of work, a lot of physical labor.
Well, anytime you work for yourself, you're going to work harder than you would working for somebody that's going to pay you. You're going to end up putting in longer hours and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of people that just don't have the desire to do that.
yeah. I'd say for most of the public, most of the general public, showing up for work is the hardest part. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta be there.
And you have to be
Ugh.
disciplined but being disciplined and being your own boss when you work for yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they go to work and they get there at 9 and they're done at 5 and their day is done. But a lot of people, like even resellers, I mean, you'll work, half the night or whatever.
If the hardest part of your workday is going to be getting out of bed in the morning, you're probably not going to be a star employee.
Mm.
That must be a pretty good, a, a pretty big one, Mr. Sadie. But it's like y'all said, it's any business like that. It's gonna be hard or having a business because you got to work harder. I mean, back when my dad had a land surveyor and I was a kid, people were saying, "Oh man, why don't you, like high schooler, why don't you come to McDonald's and get a job? It's not working so you don't work so hard." And I said, "Because my dad has his own business, and he expects us to work for him."
Yeah.
Because
When are we going to
you
get
know
this?
working at fast food joints are a piece of cake anyway. Are they, Scott?
I don't know. If you dropped me
Jesus.
in a McDonald's and said, "Okay, start making hamburgers," I'd be and it'd be stressful because you have to
Yeah.
do it in a quick, fast amount of time.
When I went to high school, I fixed typewriters. I can tell you, I knew a lot of people who worked in fast food, and I wouldn't have traded that for anything. I mean, those guys, they busted their hump.
It's real work. It sucks. So,
Yeah,
so-
that is not easy work by any means.
so
Well,
when is
back
this-
in the days, when you went into a fast food joint, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I went into the fast food place, I saw my classmates working there, or kids from the other high school. There wasn't all these old people in there, and we are those old people now, but still, you know, you didn't see adults working in there. The only adults would be the manager of the store.
Well, yeah, 'cause they had that minimum wage for kids was lower. If you're under 18, isn't your minimum
Is
wage
it
is
still
lower
like
than
that?
adult? Sure, it's
No,
lower.
it's
than
I
not
don't
like
adult.
that. It's not like that anymore.
I don't think
But
it's
back
like
then it was. That's why they always. That's why these fast food places they always wanted kids because they could pay them less.
Oh, I
That
didn't
must have been
know
a Wisconsin thing. Down in the South, the minimum wage was, it didn't matter who. I started in
Yeah.
Mansion in 1989 or 90. It was the same.
Yeah, Wisconsin there was definitely lower. If you were under 18, it was the lower minimum wage.
So when is this? When is the country going to learn? So, you know, our basketball program was ranked very highly, number 4, and one of the players this weekend shot and killed somebody, or was with somebody who shot and killed somebody. So he's been charged with capital murder too. And they're, you know, the lady, she was 23 years old, you know, and they're all poor pitiful me. She's a mother and she's got children. What the fuck was she doing out on a Saturday night with 4 guys, 4 basketball players, at 3 o'clock in the morning if she's got a 3-year-old at home?
well, that happens a lot.
Nothing good happens at 12 after 12 o'clock. Does anybody not talk about that anymore? Nothing good happens after midnight anymore. You can only get in trouble.
If I had the bar, if everyone left the tavern by midnight, okay, I couldn't close before midnight, but our lawful time to close was 2 o'clock. My boss told me if the bar's empty at midnight, shut it down. And people would leave. They go, "Oh, we'll be back. We're just going to have a quick one at the other bar, the meat market, and we'll come back
There's a
here."
meat market bar that you could walk to. It's
So
probably like 4
when they
blocks
left,
away.
man, those doors got locked, the lights turned off, and I worked for tips. I want to tell you, the tips after midnight are crap because they're all stone drunk. They're looking for trouble. They're not really drinking much anymore because they're blasted, and they're just looking to wreck stuff and get in fights and get rapey or whatever. And I don't need that stuff on my watch. I'd lock that place up, and I'm restocking a bar, and I'm out of here.
They'd pound on the door. They'd be
Yeah.
like, hey,
They
let
see
us
me in there
in.
stocking the shelves. I give them the finger.
Okay, I got to get out of here. I got a doctor's appointment I got to go
Uh-oh,
to.
that's it. Wrap it up.
Oh.
So hopefully this will be the last one for at least 3
Hey,
months.
Tom, when you end this, hang around for 1 second. I got to ask you a question.
Do what?
When you end it, hang around on the thing for 1 minute. I got to ask you a question.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for coming in. See Scott's channel tomorrow.
Yeah, we're
He
going to
would
talk a lot
like
about
this.
AI and stuff tomorrow.
I'm going to
Alright.
be gone Thursday and Friday, so it's all you, Tom.
Okay. All righty.
We're going
have
on
a-
a mini vacation. We're hitting the beach.
Okay.
Well, give me
Oh.
check out Larry's show.
You stay on vacation.
He's early.
Oh, Larry's early.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
All right, have a good day.